Fantastic. Thank you, Yash. And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akshay, and I lead the commercial partnerships business for the Asia Pacific region at Adobe. Thank you for joining us today in what is intended to be a thought-provoking and reflective session, unearthing insights from a year of unprecedented upheaval and change. And I appreciate we have listeners from across the region, and I hope all of you and your families are keeping well. It's a privilege today to be moderating this discussion around how the pandemic has really shaped the future of retail. And we intend to leave no stone unturned, covering everything from conversations, conversions, customer journeys, and loyalty. And I'm confident of this because of the diverse panel of experts we have with us today, each with unrivaled e-commerce experience. Before we start, a quick reminder to submit any questions in the chat box you see in front of you. As we're tight on time today, we won't be hosting a dedicated Q&A session at the end. However, our speakers will attempt to answer your questions in the chat box itself as we progress. So to introduce our esteemed speakers we have with us today, we have Theresia Tristini, IT Director at The Body Shop Indonesia, Sreekanth Chetlur, Head of Digital at Matahari Department Store, and Anand Ramdeo, MD at Ranosys UK. So let's begin. Ernst & Young predicts a 3- to 4-fold growth in Southeast Asia's e-commerce market size from 30 billion in 2019 to approximately 90 to 120 billion in 2025. So to each of our speakers, perhaps you can share a little bit about your background and one notable shift that you've seen in your business this year with COVID-19. And let's start with ladies first. Our only lady on the call, Theresia, maybe we can start with you.
Hi, thanks, Akshay. Hi, everyone. I'm Theresia from The Body Shop Indonesia. My role is an IT director. Actually, this COVID really changed everything in our company and also in the way that our customer interact with us. You're right, Akshay. Our online transactions, online orders significantly increased. We never planned, but that happened in this year. That's what I really observe significant changes during the COVID. Yeah.
Thanks, Theresia, and I'm sure about that. I can only imagine the significant change that you've experienced at the Body Shop. Sreekanth, what about yourself at the Matahari Department Store brand?
Right. Hello, everybody. Great to be here. So I'll just give a brief intro about myself. Sreekanth, heading digital for Matahari Department Store, based out of Jakarta. So I think one of the biggest ones which we've seen is, of course, the digital adoption, which everybody's aware of. But it's not just about the increase in revenues coming in from digital as a channel, but how this channel has become more of a medium for us to do much more effective communications with our customers, not just about hard selling, but also to better educate them with regards to social distancing, physical distancing. And that's how we have really transformed within the business internally, making sure that how our budgets are more towards digital rather than going offline. Those are some of the radical changes which have happened within the business, and digital has now suddenly become the heart of discussions rather than a new value-added service in the board meetings. So I think that's a big change, and it's gonna remain for sure.
I most certainly agree. I think it will remain for some time. And Anand, have you been seeing sort of the same kind of shifts and conversations happening with your customers at Ranosys?
Certainly, Akshay, and good morning and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anand, and I'm the Managing Director for Ranosys Technologies based out of here in the UK. And Akshay, I work with many merchants across the globe, and our teams have supported many businesses transition from their brick and mortar operations to e-commerce because of the pandemic. However, in my opinion, the biggest shift is not the transition to the e-commerce. The biggest shift, in my opinion, is in the mindset of the key stakeholders. I think what we are realizing is that businesses now understand that uncertainties are real, and events that are completely outside their influence can disrupt business anytime. And the only thing that they have at their disposal is their ability to respond quickly. And I think with this mindset, they're becoming a little bit more agile in their approach. They're investing in the platforms and operating models that improve their agility. And that's the change that we are seeing across the globe, right from the US to the Southeast Asia. And that is very encouraging for us because it makes it a little bit more easier for us to serve them in the best possible way.
So mindset shifts really both across our internal stakeholder base as well as mentioned earlier, our customers and audiences that we're serving. Look, absolutely. It's no secret that the pandemic has drastically changed consumption habits, whereby retailers have had to shift their strategies to really remain relevant and active with their customer base in this changed environment. According to an eMarketer survey, 70% of shoppers avoided going to places during February and March this year, resulting in a sharp decline in brick and mortar retail sales of up to 30% year on year. So let me ask the panelists, how's the customer journey changed as a result of the pandemic? And how have you responded to that or advising your customers to respond to the same? And Sreekanth, maybe this time we can start with you.
Yeah, sure. So I think it all started in a similar time, right? In Indonesia, we started seeing the beginning of Q2, April, when the pandemic hit us. We started seeing how the government regulations were changing overnight because it was such an unknown topic and we didn't know what was hitting us. So it really impacted our sales, especially from stores. We are one of the biggest department store chain in the country, holding on to over 150 odd stores across the country. So pretty much all stores got shut in May. And this was also the time, this is your biggest trading period because it's Ramadan. It's the holy month. And as a fashion retailer, this is your biggest season. So something like almost 10x of a Black Friday in the West is what you can expect for retailers in this region during Ramadan. So it was a big hit because in such a high trading period, you don't have your physical stores to service customers that impact your sales. But I think it also really allowed us this whole time to really introspect and start thinking about what are those assets you've got, which you got to leverage to drive incremental value without really driving incremental cost. So we started creating a lot of these concepts wherein we started social commerce. That was pretty big for us because what we started doing was we decentralized the process. We made sure that every store in charge, every store manager is able to reach out to his or her local community because we are a very community-based concept. So there are a lot of these contacts. Our store managers know people. So we started creating this shopping service via WhatsApp. We started calling it Shop and Talk. So we created these catalogs which are available on WhatsApp as a channel. And then customers could go through those catalogs, speak to the store guys if they want to, message them, allowing payment channels via the WhatsApp as a channel by giving them a link and using the mobility services like Grab, Gojek to deliver shipments to them as well. So this was over and above what we were doing with our established e-commerce site. So e-commerce obviously saw triple-digit year-on-year growth, which was fantastic. But we were also complementing how stores can benefit using the digital technologies in a very simple way. Because sometimes when it hits you, you don't really have the time to invest a lot and wait for it, right? You need to be absolutely agile to make sure that you come up with workarounds, you come up with processes which solves your immediate needs, and while you are stepping up and ensuring that you have a long-term solution. So I think doing those social commerce bits, doing a lot of live streaming, which really worked out without involving a lot of KOLs, but rather the store teams were becoming more like ambassadors of the brand, which was great because they are the best people to know their products. So we were really able to leverage those existing technologies with our own existing team, with all those assortments and stocks which are already there in the stores, because we were all prepared for a big Ramadan, which never happened. So I think it started a way wherein the entire management started thinking out of the box, started thinking that, all right, we have to fight against this. Let us understand what's the best and the safest way to shop for our customers and create more avenues for them. So social commerce, live streaming, of course, dialing further up on our e-commerce initiatives, working alongside some of the marketplaces as well, also helped us to really expand on our offering to our customers and reach out and our reach pretty much across the country. So there was a significant jump on the digital sales, which really helped us during Q2 and even Q3. And now the beginning of Q4, we continue to see a high penetration of digital sales, and even the whole research online purchase offline habits have started really coming in. So it may not be a direct digital sales relation, but then it is getting impacted. Even our brick and mortar sales are now getting impacted through digital. So I think that that's been a really amazing shift which we have seen. And I'm happy that we were able to embrace the new technologies and this new behavior and new thought process on time to not lose out and not stay relevant to our customers.
That's absolutely, incredibly insightful. I think it's great to hear that the digital first approach not only had an impact on revenues, which is sort of the obvious way we think about reaching our customers, but also on operations and creating this kind of feedback loop you mentioned, with your brick and mortar stores to be more effective. That's great. Thanks for sharing that, Sreekanth. Theresia, what about at the Body Shop? How have you seen the customer journey change and the kind of shifts within the business?
Yeah, actually, it doesn't only change the customer, but also change us. Yeah. Because we never planned to have COVID in this 2020, right? Suddenly it came. And like Anand said that, suddenly we're pushed to change our mindset, even in our daily life, right? Because in a way we are also customer, right? So then first we noticed the change of the lifestyle of everyone. Okay, we socialize online, study online, we do shopping online. We noticed that. In Indonesia, and like Sreekanth said, in Jakarta, our lockdown started in March. Suddenly all the mall closed. And then for us, we have almost 200 stores throughout Indonesia. Then we have to adapt and adjust with that. Before, when we still had the shops, people come to us. We are more on the waiting mode. Since COVID, we have to become more proactive, right? We have to pull the customer come to us. We have to attract the customer come to us, even though we don't have the shop. So because of that, what we focus is become more proactive. All the staff in the stores, they have the loyal customers already. So they call one by one, okay? And then we deliver the order to the house. In Indonesia, we have we call it Gojek. Gojek is like, delivery to the house, yes. Okay? And then, of course, digital marketing team, very busy. Very, very busy. How to change, we marketing or campaign all the products, all the promo and everything through digital. There's a lot of things. And also, we change the way we work and also our organization internally to adjust with the changes, right? And then we're using a lot of tools, digital tools, to know what is the customer behavior and to change the system as well, our e-commerce, and also to personalize as much as possible to make sure that our sales still coming throughout the COVID period. Actually, for us, it's a big lesson learned.
Absolutely.
You're right. Anything that we didn't plan, we had to do it. Even I think we have to do it until next year. That's how we have to adjust.
Look, it's fascinating insights, and it clearly became a do or die situation for a lot of brands that needed to stay relevant, that needed to survive and thrive. And I think that what the shifts that you just described there, Theresia, is I'm sure can be shared by a lot of brands. that went through this pandemic this year. Anand, at Ranosys, are you seeing the same kind of feedback from your customers?
Oh, yes, absolutely, Akshay. So in our case, since we support our clients with their e-commerce initiatives, our sales cycles actually shortened. We saw a good demand from organizations who did not have any digital commerce operations. And at the same time, we also saw demand for features such as your scheduling, ability to order well in advance based on the availability in the stock, curbside and no contact deliveries, and so on. And what we quickly realized is that if we start from scratch for every such opportunity, it would take a very long time and it would be a lost opportunity for both us and our customers. So as a result, we invested in building our accelerator called Falcon on top of Magento Commerce. We used our knowledge to pre-build some of the most commonly used features in the B2C world and in the B2B world, and with an intent to be able to go live in 4 to 6 weeks time, because we thought that it is very, very important for us to have something ready-made, pre-packaged out of the box that we can roll out very quickly. Along with Falcon, we also created an accelerator for mobile called MobiChannel, which is powered by the data that is present in the Magento Commerce. With these accelerators, we were able to very cost effectively and quickly serve our customers and made it easier and quicker for them to kickstart their digital journey. And we have seen the benefit of this for both Ranosys as well as for the clients that we are serving.
Fantastic. I mean, really, really great sharing there, guys. And I think it's, again, very interesting to see, I think, a lot of the similar kind of challenges and that all of us faced, both as brand owners, as agency and technology owners, from what we heard from the market. Look, we know customer experience is indeed the bridge between a company's efforts and a customer's expectations. And both ends of this bridge really face an uncertain future on the speed of recovery from COVID-19. And such crises obviously alter consumer behavior. McKinsey alone reported 92% of survey respondents in Indonesia have tried a new shopping behavior since the start of COVID-19, with a strong skew toward digital shopping methods, with online discovery cited as a leading way to discover as new places to shop. How has shopper loyalty and engagement really changed as a result of the pandemic in each of your perspectives? And Anand, maybe this time we'll start with you. Again, how has shopper loyalty and engagement changed as a result of the pandemic?
Sure. So I'll try and answer this question from a merchant's perspective, because most of our clients are loyal by nature. We have most of our engagements are long running in nature. But from a merchant's perspective, what we saw that even before pandemic, loyalty for most of the brands were shaky, and consumers started shopping around. They started looking at various options to compare price, to see if there are any better options available. So loyalty in that sense was something that cannot be taken for granted in the current market. People are a lot more aware about competition. They're a lot more informative about what is out there, and they have this mindset of being an explorer. They're also socially aware. They have insight coming in from their trusted circle that also influence their loyalty decisions. I think as a result of the pandemic, there was one good thing that happened for many people who were able to survive with their jobs. They had a lot more disposable income because they were not spending on activities such as eating out, traveling, and all the other modes of entertainments were cut down. So they had this disposable income that they could spend on the shopping, on the brands that they love. But still, it gave them time to explore more. So loyalty was, I think, a bit shaky. Brands who were able to command loyalty were the brands where there was a strong connection with the consumer. And that strong connection could be because of the cause. It could be because of their initiatives on sustainable commerce. It could be because of the cause that sort of connected both brands and consumers in some way. And in those cases, loyalty was absolutely amazing.
Anand, did you see or rather Sreekanth, did you sort of see similar trends in that front?
So on the loyalty side, if I can, so I think even before the pandemic, and I agree with Anand, that even before the pandemic, there were a lot of action happening on this side, because the customer's expectations and the experience which a customer gets today, while connected to, let's say, super apps, has really transformed, and especially in this region where we have seen all these, I don't know if mega app is the right word, but having these diversified services in one go has really exceeded the expectations, or rather exceeded the expectations from a merchant side in terms of what you need to provide to your customers. So pandemic obviously it further ensured that on the loyalty side, one has to make sure that we are keeping or making sure that the principles we are following in terms of awareness, engagement, conversion, retention, all these things is very digitally driven, so that you are giving those instant gratifications to your customers, especially now in the absence of brick and mortar, or in the limited footfall which we've been seeing. So I think on that side, there's been a lot of work which we have been personally doing as well. I can't really comment as a listed company because it's still in progress, but we definitely see a very strong future on the loyalty side, because with all our digital platforms now coming of age, with how the younger customers are shopping more frequently, and how even the baby boomers or Gen X really embracing digital, it has made it even more relevant for us to have the right offer for our customers, which breaks the barriers between the channels. So providing a much more value-added service is what is the expectation now across customers. And it's not just about you being a fashion retailer. It's only about earning points and allowing burning of points. It's not just about that anymore. It's about how strong that engagement needs to be in terms of more of a community drive, more of driving those organic discussions. And then if relatable diversification can be possible as well, if it really matches against the customer personas you have, as well as the kind of trade you do. So there is so much happening on the loyalty space, and it's absolutely an exciting time, especially within loyalty and the whole customer personas, and how you want to drive better ROIs and better ROAS and all those things. So I think it's a very interesting time, and COVID has fortunately helped, at least on this regard, so that the management and the stakeholders have really started looking and investing on this space, because this is where the longevity and the customer lifetime value comes into picture.
It's really good points, and I think from what I'm hearing across the board is, how do you really create new ways for consumers to engage with your brands, in effort to obviously create stickiness, increase conversion, and obviously drive revenue. It's one of the many reasons we launched product recommendations within Magento this year. And product recommendations is really powered by Adobe Sensei, our AI and machine learning technology. We deployed that to Magento customers globally. I think it was around the April timeframe. And this feature really allows merchants to deploy automated and intelligent recommendations across storefronts to help customers discover new relevant products throughout their shopping journey, all the while creating engagement, increasing conversion, and revenue. So it's something that we've seen within our product and platform a little bit more of a greater uptick from. I believe Theresia is having some connectivity issues, so I think she'll be joining us shortly, and she's trying to get back online. And as I sort of saved this question for her for when she joins us, I do see within our audience, actually, Theresia, I think I see you come back on. Theresia, are you there?
Yes, sorry.
Fantastic. No problem at all. You just came right on time. It was I was just handing over to you. So just as a reminder, Theresia, what I just asked Anand and Sreekanth, how has shopper loyalty and engagement at Body Shop really changed as a result of the pandemic?
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting question. You know, we noticed that actually for us, for our customer, once they know the product and they get used to that, actually they look for the products. This is for the, we're talking about the loyal customers, right?
Yes.
Of course, there are certain people that we call it a discount seeker. They will shop only when there's a discount, right? But there's also customers that loyal to us because of our values. We just recently had a survey that now because of COVID, a lot of customers really looking for the brand that eco-friendly. Or nowadays, people really concerned about environment issue. That is, we use that as a brand campaign or a promo that attract the customers to stay with us, because Body Shop is known as a eco-friendly brand, you know, very environmental support. We use that. So, and now even for the millennials and Gen Z, they're really concerned with all the ingredients. So we're promoting all the ingredients in our product, so they know exactly when they use our product, it is a good product for them. So because now a lot of other brands, they're using a price as a world price, you know, we cannot use that. We cannot sustain like that. We have to be sustained profitably in the long term, right? So that's how we maintain our customer to be loyal with us.
Excellent, excellent. And those are certainly thoughtful strategies, and one that I think, the ones that I think will drive sustainability in the business, especially when you think about Body Shop's values. There's some things that will never change or ought to never change about a brand. And whilst I still have you, Theresia, in front of me on screen, a great question has come up from the audience that I'd like to just ask you. It is directed toward you. The question is, most of retailers are starting to embrace and run omni-channel. What is your view on omni-channel itself, and what has the Body Shop Indonesia done so far with omni-channel?
Right. Actually, since COVID this year, like Anand mentioned earlier in the beginning, we have to change the mindset, right? Totally. So since Q2 this year, we already, in the management level, we run our digital workshop. We plan, yeah, that's how serious we have to change into digital transformation. So one of that is really go into the omni. Yeah. Now let's say we open also another channel like Sreekanth mentioned earlier, using a WhatsApp, when people can order through WhatsApp or through our website, but then we can deliver to them as well. The way when we look into omni is very interesting, you know, right? And then using omni channel or omni business, we call it, right? Because when you say omni channel is not multi-channel, it's different thing.
Yes.
Right. When we talk about omni business, actually it allows the customer to touch us, to approach us in any way that they want, and they can receive our product in any way that they're comfortable with. That's omni, right? So we partnership with of course with partners, because we cannot do it alone, right? Yes. And we really targeted who are the target customers that really into omni behavior. You know why? Because our product, they have to smell it, they have to feel it, they have to touch it. It's different, right? So then we have to know whether this is for the first customer or this is for the loyal customer. And we do omni also differently. And then also about the generation. Millennials and Gen Z, they are very gadget savvy.
Yes.
We call it gadget savvy or internet savvy. It doesn't have to be technology savvy. As long as they can use internet and gadget, that's it. They don't have to be technology savvy. So we also go into that, right? We now utilize also our social media commerce, using TikTok, everything. Even now we leverage our customer for them also to promoting other customers. Right? That's kind of so when we talk about Omni is everything. It's not about only how we handle the channels, but how we handle the customer behaviors and personalization. That's the key.
Exactly. It's exactly what we've been, what our customers are telling us. Omni-channel really is a means for brands to look for ways to delivering rich content and shopping experiences to their customers. And this has become ever more important today with rising average order values, but also cart abandonment rates as high as 75%. So merchants really need to be incredibly agile and empathetic as to how they connect with their customers. So I think that was really insightful sharing there, Theresia. Thank you.
If I add, actually the good thing also because of this, not only us, but everybody, our partners, also they raise up themselves into the digital, right? Into technology.
Right.
So for us now, it's very easy to choose our partner because everybody now go into this. Everybody now go into digital. Everybody now go into Omni. So for us, option to choose the partner, also a lot of option we can do for Omni.
Excellent. And partner strategy is obviously, I think, definitely a critical factor to success. There's another question from the audience, and this is for Sreekanth that I thought was quite interesting. Sreekanth, it says that a lot of people are saying the department store business is dying. And so what is your new strategy in Matahari today compared to the past? On addressing this, especially now most of the brands inside Matahari have either gone direct with their official stores or in the marketplaces or have their own sort of online place. So just what's your viewpoint on this shift?
Right, thanks for that. Yeah, so unfortunately, I cannot disclose my strategy. We are a listed company and to get to know our strategy, we are very careful, especially in our earnings calls when we talk about it. But I'll give you something which is more fundamental to us as a business. And so omnichannel definitely is, and we've talked already about it, or new retail. I think it is going to be the key differentiator, especially in this region where not a lot of retailers have actually done it successfully or done it at scale. And we have seen retailers doing that in the West, in the US, in the UK. There are various examples and people who have succeeded, people who have failed, people who have learned from mistakes. So I think it is actually a good time to be in because we are able to learn from mistakes which the others have done and how we can prevent those. So I think for us as well, omnichannel is absolutely a key. Because what we personally feel is customer experience has to be that differentiator with regards to providing absolutely seamless experience across in-store, online, mobile, offering features like click and collect, returns to store, reserve and collect, all those aspects which would allow further improvement in footfall to the stores. We really want to connect those kind of things because I think there is so much value which a customer gets, and as well as for the business itself. We are working on things like live streaming, things like social commerce, which I talked about a while ago, and some of the fundamentals which we are working on is how do you get, as a retailer, it is important for us to get a single view of inventory, and equally important is to get a single view of customer. So, and these two will always be your foundations for you to build a successful omni-channel. That's what we feel, and it's very customizable as well, depending on your exact customer needs as well as the tools you've got within your own business. So we have identified that how these two concepts could really help us drive those features which are very rich for our customers. It will really enhance their experience, as well as it will drive those new customers which we can get. It will drive the Gen Z to make it more relevant for the younger customers. Because if we are able to tap into that younger audience, these are the audience which is going to stay with us for the next decade or two. So it is equally important for us to start ensuring that all our initiatives are focused towards the younger audience. So there are a lot of these initiatives which we are doing right now. Matahari Mall, Matahari Shop, those were all learnings. I think I would like to call it that way. Immense learnings, but right now what we are trying to drive is ensuring that the loyalty base we've got, and we have a very rich loyalty base because being part of in Indonesia, we've been here for over 6 decades. We're one of the oldest and one of the biggest department store chains. So it is equally important now that how we transform or transition our loyalty members onto the digital journey as well. And we're doing that together hand in hand with our customers by working out on customer personas, thinking about their behaviors, thinking about their shopping habits, their frequency habits, what they like, what they don't like. There's a lot of data which already exists. So we are making sure that how we can tailor make some of those personalized experiences for them by using the digital technologies. So at the end of the day, I think the goal is more about technology will always remain as an enabler. It won't really solve everything. There has to be a vision behind it. There has to be initiatives which is both human as well as technology driven. So that's what we're trying to go to make sure that we have a very targeted, very personalized communications and shopping experience for our customers using the right tools, which don't create barriers between channels, but complements each other. So that's the maximum I can talk about the strategy, because I'm not allowed to really talk about strategy in general. We haven't made it public yet. But yeah, a lot of experiences we got from Matahari Mall, Matahari Shop, and just adding on to the first point itself, it says department store business is dying. Well, it is subjective. We have seen a lot of big box retailers who have actually bounced back. Best Buy, I was just reading yesterday, they had their earnings call. They did supremely well. Nordstrom has done great job very recently. Myers has really bounced back. So these are some amazing department store chains which are doing really well. So now you talk about Sears, Macy's have had their troubles. So there have been companies, there have been department stores which haven't really embraced digital, or there are multiple other reasons, but there are also examples, Target for that matter, or Walmart for that matter. These are the biggest players you can think of, and how they're also really tapping into their digital as well as omni-channel journey. So there are learnings everywhere. It's very important for anybody to really think about what is that best use case which can work out for your customers, which is also possible from a business standpoint. You can't really replicate what everybody else would have done. It may not be required. So you just need to think about those initiatives which is going to drive that additional value for your customers.
Thanks for those perspectives, Sreekanth. And I think, look, it's great. I like your point about technology as an enabler. Whilst the landscape may have changed with the way we are doing business, I think, like to Theresia's early point as well, there's some ways in terms of the part of our brand, the heritage of our brand and what we stand upon may never change, but we just need to make sure that we are tailoring to these new experiences as per what we're seeing in the market. So no, thank you for sharing that. And I know we're approaching to the end of our time. The key message is that we are really seeing brands accelerate their digital roadmaps in 2021. And so to end off the session, what do each of you think will be the biggest trend in the retail industry for 2021? And maybe Anand, we can start with you.
Sure. So in my opinion, 2021 will start to come out of the pandemic. We are already seeing good progress that is being made on the vaccine front. And I think this experience has been great, a very good learning experience for a lot of brands. And as a result of this experience, many organizations, many brands will become a little bit more human in their approach. I think people would appreciate a little bit more efforts around transparency, sustainability, and socially responsible commerce operations. Companies like Amazon, they are already setting the bar high with their pledge towards carbon neutrality. And I think that will continue to become norm. On the same lines, transparent and fair treatment across the entire supply chain, including manufacturing, your supply chain operations, your fulfillment center, will make consumers comfortable in making that purchase decision. I believe that in 2021, companies will be able to make a good business case for their transparent and socially responsible behavior because consumers will reward them for it.
Great point. So transparency and social responsibility on it, I think are two key messages there that I derived. Sreekanth, what about you? What is one key trend you think we'll see for next year?
So of course, digital continue. I think it's gonna complement even more the brick and mortar revenues and businesses. But as Indonesia, it's a very different market. So out here, we're very hopeful 2021 is going to be a year where we may get hold of the vaccines and mass production happens, and we see more customer confidence and more visiting our stores. We really want that to happen, but in a very but we want to be as socially responsible as possible on that front. But we're hoping everything happens for that. But I think digital will continue to lead. I think digital going forward, what I see is in 2021 should happen as well, that I think digital starts, it's going to define what the overall strategy of the company needs to be. It's got to be digital behavior of the customers, which will help us understand, should we even design a particular store in a particular format, which we have been doing for all these years. Because based on how a customer navigates your e-commerce website gives you a lot of insights in terms of how you should make it even more tailor-made experience, even in store. So getting into a lot of the detailing, like on the real estate side, you can suddenly see digital going to help. So apart from that, marketing we discussed, and there was already a lot of investments happening on the digital marketing side as compared to billboards and TVCs and all the other things. So I think digital marketing will continue to rise. It's going to be a lot more targeted, personalized, one-to-one marketing techniques, which will come into picture. Loyalty will continue to be very tailor-made and related to your marketing in terms of how you want to segment, how you want to personalize. So I think digital will continue to be a very strong pillar. It will get even bigger share in terms of the stakeholders' confidence into that sector to drive not just digital revenues, but the entire company-wide revenues, because digital is actually going to shape even further. But I'm very hopeful that Indonesia, we will see a lot of, we would see recovery for brick and mortar as well in Indonesia. I'm very confident.
Excellent. And Theresia, why don't you take us home? What do you think? Theresia, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I think what we have now is a new normal. So the new normal will continue, okay, go into digital. But we can see as well, now customer wants to have more control. So yeah, right. So next year, whoever brand, whoever company that can engage with customer and give the control, the freedom to the customer, they will win. Nowadays, it's mostly the company or the brand control the customer, right? You have this, how the customer have to behave. Cannot now. We give the control to the customer. We give them what they want, how they want. That's it, the new retail, I think. Yeah.
I like the way you put that. I like the way you put that, Theresia, giving actually customer having control really over what they want, and the brands that will do well are the ones that absolutely listen. I think great points and trends there from the entire panelists: social responsibility, transparency, a digital first mindset, and from Sreekanth, and who also mentioned, I think, a very relevant trend around social commerce. And then ensuring that we respect that the customers indeed have the control. From my perspective, I think what we will most certainly see, I think, is AI increasingly customer facing. across the retail industry. We know, I think AI-driven big data retailing has been maturing for some years now, but it's really gone from a nice to have to now an essential part of retailers' e-commerce offerings. And with so many of us that will, I think, continue to be stuck at home next year, and retailers unable to find maybe new customers by enticing us to walk into their stores, we will see more resources, I think, be focused on growing customer numbers with AI marketing, as Sreekanth mentioned, but also augmented reality, I think, to bridge the gap between digital and physical. And similarly, I've seen reports around smart speaker shopping and AI-powered voice recognition technology, improving to the point where it can really be used to add value both in-store and via e-commerce applications. So I think this is something that we should also see into 2021. I know we are over and we started a little bit late today, but let me take this opportunity to first thank our speakers, Sreekanth, Anand, and Theresia, for giving us the time and providing your invaluable perspectives. I think I really enjoyed and learned a lot from hearing from each of you. As well as that to Ranosys for inviting us today to be part of this Meet Magento event. I think it's a great opportunity for us to really pull up and see, really reflect on the learnings from this year and plan more strategically into next year. So thank you to our audience for tuning in. Hopefully this session has been insightful for you as it's been for us. And otherwise, we hope you enjoy the rest of the conference ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.